are some points that I really want to emphasize, and I want to emphasize some points from the FBI. So first off, as the U.S. Attorney said, this absolutely would not have been possible without the cooperation of our state and local partners that are on our Joint Terrorism Task Force. We absolutely could not have got that done without them. Today's arrest, however, emphasizes that homegrown terrorism is a continuous threat within the United States. While we feel protected here in the heartland, in the middle of America, we have a certain sense of security. But today, again, it reminds us that terrorism remains a very real threat. Just last month, FBI Director Comey testified before the United States Senate Committee on Threat to the Homeland. And during that testimony, I want to quote part of his testimony. "First, I worry most at home about individuals we call homegrown violent extremists. They are people who are inspired by Al-Qaeda, but who direct themselves and equip themselves to engage in their own version of jihad on behalf of the terrorism interest. As law enforcement, we are charged with and have an obligation to take action and protect the public whenever an individual expresses a desire to commit violence. Allowing an individual intent on killing people to proceed without government response is not an option, and it will never be an option." Keep in mind today, as you start examining this investigation and you start examining our actions, today's actions by this individual were a choice on his part. It was a choice to act upon an intent to do harm. By no means is this based, or should it reflect, on any religious community or a house of worship. To hijack a peaceful religion, to manipulate it and exploit it to justify one's criminal actions is in no reflection upon an individual community or their religious beliefs. I want to reassure the public, as the U.S. Attorney said again, at no time, and I want to repeat, at no time was the public safety at risk, nor was the safety of any traveler at Mid-Continent Airport ever at risk. The threat was real, Terry Loewen was real, and Terry Loewen was committed to execute this plan, but I can assure you again, the public was not at risk at all. Today's arrest also emphasizes the tremendous working relationship among law enforcement within the state of Kansas, and I must again commend the fine job of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. Barry had already mentioned them, so I'm not going to do that. Investigations of these types, because of their nature, are very sensitive and follow strict guidelines governing the use of undercover operations. We base our investigations on sound legal standards with the ultimate goal of keeping U.S. citizens safe while protecting us from a terrorist attack, which is the FBI's #1 priority. The FBI, along with our law enforcement partners, work together, working hand in hand with our prosecutors, the United States Attorney's Office, and the Counterterrorism Section of Department of Justice, ensuring and maintaining adherence to these guidelines. Finally, as I have mentioned, we rely on our law enforcement partners to do our job, but we also heavily rely on the community's partners every day to assist us to keep our community and our nation safe. Members of the community are our valuable partners. Everyone has a role in keeping us safe and a responsibility to remain vigilant. Thank you.